Gentlemen, welcome. We have Providence College with us first. Student athletes are Tom Parisi, Kevin Rooney, and Brandon Tanev, and head coach Nate Lehman. We'll start with just a statement from Coach on the team coming into the regional, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes first. Coach?
Really excited to be here. Excited to get back to this stage. It was one of the challenges that we put in front of our team at the beginning of the year, that of the past 10 national champions, only 4 of them had made it back to the tournament. So we realized it was going to be a very tough year. We're going to get everyone's A game, and it was going to be difficult to get back to this spot. Very excited to be here, very happy to be here, and looking forward to playing tomorrow night.
Thanks, Coach. Questions? We'll start right here. We'll bring the microphones to you.
Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. For any of the players, just talk about the change of perception from being a 16 seed coming in, and this year reigning national champions and a top seed in the regional.
I think I really don't think it means too much, to be honest with you. It's the best 16 teams in the country. Last year we were a 4 seed. This year we're a 1 seed. To us, it's irrelevant. It's just about getting the job done. And all 16 teams here can win a national championship, and we're going to try to do that. So.
As Tom had mentioned, I think it's a great opportunity back in the NCAA tournament, and you don't think about that stuff. All you think about is your opponent. You have Friday night and doing what you can do to win that game against Minnesota-Duluth on Friday, and everything else we just push it aside and think about what we can do.
All right, question here in the second row.
Matt Wellens, News Tribune in Duluth. Tom, what do you pull out of last year's experience, though, and apply to this season back in the tournament?
Well, I think just how to handle ourselves physically, how to take care of our bodies, and just being through the whole experience. It was a tremendous experience. We're very fortunate to be there, and now we have that experience to take and learn from, and maybe do some things differently this year around.
What are some of the things you feel you could do differently maybe this time around? Things that you learned from last year?
Yeah, I guess just, I don't know necessarily differently, but just overall focus and just preparation. Just we learned some tips here and there and how to handle ourselves. So.
If you remember, also last year, Tom was the guy after our first game that was held for 2.5 hours by the NCAA to do the drug testing, because so you should probably remember to not drink as much fluids.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing I should not do.
Question right here. Yep.
Mark Diver, Providence Journal. Nate, can you talk about the ice conditions and the lighting out there? Any issues? They haven't had, the ice has been down a week maybe. Any thoughts on that?
No, I thought the ice was good. The guys could maybe speak better to the ice. I thought the ice was okay. Pucks weren't frozen, so they were bouncing a little bit. But the boards are live. It's going to be a fast game. The boards are very live here. How's the ice?
It was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Boards are live, like Coach said, so a lot of bouncing pucks and behind the net, and so it was good though.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll dismiss you and take more questions for Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Good job, Kevin.
Yep, did a lot.
All right, Coach, we have a question right here for you.
Nate, you're the defending national champions, but you went into the season here, not picked to win your league. You were 3rd, 7th in the national polls. Why was it that maybe other people around the country and in the league maybe had lower expectations for a defending national champion? And what were your guys' expectations going into this year?
That's a good question. Well, again, basically after we won the national championship last year, about 2 weeks after we won it, we sat down and we had a pretty good meeting. Pulled some video of some of our practices, pulled some video of some of our weight training, just to kind of show the guys, to remind the guys all the work that goes into the season. And we wanted to leave the guys with the message basically like how hard they're going to have to work this summer. And then as soon as they got back to campus, we put the challenge right away to them about the last 10 national champions. Only 4 of them have been back, and I believe only one of those 10 have won a game, or of the 4 that made it back, I believe only one of them won a game. So just kind of let them know that this is going to be difficult. What we're going into is going to be difficult because it's uncharted. It was uncharted for us. Set the tone. We've been fortunate that we have 9 seniors on the team, and they kind of took that challenge, and it made them hungry. So I think that's really the tone for our team this year. I mean, we didn't control where we get preseason ranked. We don't control that stuff. We've never controlled that stuff. You don't worry about that stuff either. It is what it is. I mean, last season, our season was very much like Duluth's, where they were preseason number 1 in their league, and they were learning to fulfill those expectations. I think this year we were preseason number 4. I think obviously when you have an All-American goaltender sign early, I think people, I think we had holes to replace. We have we're an All-American goalie. We have a centerman that's in the NHL right now. But we had guys step in and fill those holes for us.
Right here, Dave.
You mentioned the goaltending situation. Talk a little bit about Nick Ellis and how he's stepped in and filled one of those big holes this season.
Well, the story about Nick Ellis is his freshman and sophomore year. That's his real story. That's the real story about Nick Ellis, is how he handled being behind John Gillies, how he worked so hard every day, how his practices were his games. I mean, Nick was our hardest working player for his freshman and sophomore year, without a doubt. And when he got his opportunity, he made the most of it. And he's had a terrific year. The guys like playing in front of him. He's a terrific teammate, and it's a fun story as a coach to see someone. When they weren't playing, he didn't put his head down. He didn't pout. He didn't come see the coach for 4 different meetings. He just kept getting better and better. Now he got his opportunity, and now he's run with it.
Question out here in the back, guys.
You only get an hour of practice time today. What to you was the big focus of ice time today?
We just want to get the guys used to the rink. Get used to the boards, get used to the rink, and you want them feeling the puck a little bit. And then you also want to get some banging in there. You want to get some contact in there, because I think this is going to be an effort game. I think there's going to be contact in this game. It's going to be a physical game. It'll be a heavy game, and so we want to get a little bit of that in there also. Just kind of set the tone for the guys of what to expect, and as well get them as familiar with the rink as they can be.
Question back up here in front.
Nate, is there anything to be said for being a team? You guys were at last year, Duluth this year, for being a team, for being that last team that gets into the tournament, having to, for the last month, basically be in playoff mode, compared to a team that's known for a while now. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think there's a lot to be said for, the seeds in this tournament don't mean anything, and is something that we've talked about as a team. When you get to this tournament, there's no such thing as an underdog, and there's no such thing as a favorite. I think the teams that are successful at this time of year, the teams that improve the most. And sometimes when you go through a lot of struggles throughout the year, it forces you to improve and improve and improve. And so I think, there is something to be said for the teams that, maybe have to play their way in, or really have to finish strong, because those teams are improving. So, we were a team, we were exact opposite. This year we were a team where we pretty much knew we were in, but, we set the tone with our players at the beginning of February that we have to improve. We have to keep improving. I was very happy that we had Merrimack in the playoffs, and then Lowell, because they're 2 really tough teams, 2 really tough playoff teams, and those games made us better. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for that.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Good luck.